Most of my clients that move to Charlotte don't end up buying properties here in Charlotte. They actually buy in some of the surrounding suburbs. And in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to unpack the top 7 suburbs in South Charlotte. So if that's you, stick around. We're going to unpack it right now. If this is your first time to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe and bell notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market conditions right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. My name is Dean and I get calls, text messages, emails every single day from people just like you that are looking to make a move to the area, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking about moving here in 9 days or 90 days, go ahead, reach out to me. My contact information is below. I would love to help you and your family make a smooth move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Did you know that Charlotte is the 5th fastest growing city in the entire United States? We have on average just over 150 people per day moving here to Charlotte. We are growing and there's multiple reasons for that. It's a great place to live, raise a family. We have very nice climate here, employment opportunities. We're a banking center. We've got a whole host of sports teams in and around. So the economy here is absolutely booming. The housing market is still affordable compared to most of the country out there, which makes sense. Most of the people live here. But an interesting statistic that I found is in Charlotte, our population is right at 1 million people. But if you include the suburbs of Charlotte, it's closer to 3 million. So that tells us more people that call the greater metro Charlotte area home actually live in one of the suburbs. So for this purpose of this video, I really wanted to unpack some of the suburbs, and I'm going to specifically name 7 suburbs. So we're going to go through that, and you can kind of get a gauge on where you or your family might want to call home. So with that said, the first one I'm actually going to talk about is Ballentine. Now, if you don't know Ballentine, Ballentine's on the southeast side of town. Now, it's close to the South Carolina border. It absolutely exploded. Well, it's over 20 years ago now, 25 years ago. It was a planned development from the city of Charlotte. It actually used to be farmlands, but what they did is they built an incredible infrastructure, meaning access to Charlotte is very, very easy. It's right off 485, which is the beltway around Charlotte. And it's an incredible mix of both residential and commercial properties there as well. There's actually over 35 Fortune 500 companies today that's located in Ballentine that have offices in Ballentine. So there's communities around there. There's literally hundreds of subdivisions around there. So the ones that you will see, from newer ones to ones that are over 20 years old, great place for families. The school district is amazing. You don't need to drive to Charlotte per se if you are working for one of those local companies as well. So it's got a whole slew of advantages right there. So that is probably one of the most popular areas that's in the South Charlotte area that people actually buy properties and call home. Now, I will tell you, as far as property prices go, Ballentine's not the cheapest place in Charlotte. The median home price in Charlotte right now is just a little bit over $380,000. In Ballentine, just to get in there, an entry-level price point, I would say, is right around $500,000. You can buy townhomes, obviously, for cheaper than that, but we're talking about single-family homes. Most of them are going to be in subdivisions, not all, but most are going to be in subdivisions, and the entry point is right at $500,000. So really want to bring that one to your attention. Ballentine is an absolute phenomenal spot here in Charlotte. Now, staying here and close to Ballentine, but we're going to go across the state line now. So we're actually going to be in South Carolina. Now, as soon as you cross the state line in South Carolina, you're going to be in York County. Now, York County really has 3 big suburbs. It's got Fort Mill, it's got Rock Hill, and it's got Clover. They're the big 3 in York County, and that draws a lot of people across. But in Rock Hill specifically, it's a little bit further south than Fort Mill. So if you drive into uptown Charlotte, it's going to take you about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, depending on the traffic there. Now, the big draw here in Rock Hill is affordability. The house price, the medium house price, is typically always run right below the Charlotte medium house price. And there is quite a few options available. So you still do, once you get out of the old city limits, you do have some options if you're looking for properties that have more acreage. Now there's also subdivisions in Rock Hill. There's actually lots of them as well. One of the things that I really like about Rock Hill is its downtown area. Over the past 5 years, it's really been vitalized in a whole new, almost like life has been injected to downtown with restaurants, retail, coffee shop. It's very artsy. There is a local university down there, which is Winthrop. So that has absolutely exploded Rock Hill over the past 5 or so years ago. So that one is what I'm going to put on my list. So keep Rock Hill in mind. So staying in the South Carolina side of Charlotte, one of the most original suburbs that really exploded 20 plus years ago is Fort Mill. Now, people initially came across the state line, because of its proximity. As soon as you cross the state line, you're in Fort Mill. So it was very easy to get to Charlotte. The other thing was property taxes. You could still enjoy all the amenities that Charlotte offers, just being a stone's throw away from the state line, and you actually pay lower property taxes. But the big one, and it's still true to this day, is the school district. It has an A+ school district according to niche.com. It is actually the strongest school district in the entire state of South Carolina. So it's very popular with families, people that have children of school age, no matter if it's middle, elementary, or even high school. There is 3 different high schools. They're building another one here in the future. Really great school district on there. So it attracted a lot of people down there. Now, as far as house prices go, it is more expensive. You will see some of the older constructions, which are closer to the downtown area, which again has been revitalized as restaurants, coffee shops, retail space all around downtown Fort Mill as well. But the homes that are around downtown Fort Mill are older homes. But as Fort Mill has grown, there is a lot more options in newer construction. They're still building some developments here, but newer constructions, but they are a little bit more on the pricey side versus Rock Hill. To get into a property here in Fort Mill in a single family, you really have to be, again, very similar to Ballentine as far as pricing goes. Really need to be in the high 4s, low 5s as an entry point. Now, Fort Mill does have options as well that go up to multi-million-dollar properties. It doesn't have quite as many townhomes as, let's say, Rock Hill, but they are available. Again, they'll run just a little bit more expensive. But because of these strong school districts, people are willing to pay that price, and it has a really good community feel. It has that small town feel, even though we have all the amenities of Charlotte. So Fort Mill is one of the fastest growing consistently, and it has been that way for at least 20 years. So we're now going to jump back into Mecklenburg County, into North Carolina. Now I want to talk about Matthews. Matthews is an older suburb of Charlotte. It's very well known. It's on the southeast side of town. A couple of big draws of Matthews is it does have a stronger school district. It's actually rated A according to niche.com. Mecklenburg County, the CMS, Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District, CMS, that's graded at a B+ according to niche.com. So you can still have all the amenities of actually living in the Charlotte area and have a stronger school district. Now, the other big draw to Matthews is property taxes. Again, even though you're in Mecklenburg County, you don't pay your property taxes to the city of Charlotte. You actually pay them to the town of Matthews, and you pay a lot less. So just to kind of give you an idea, if you buy a house in Matthews, roughly around $500,000, you'll be paying 26 cents for every $100 of the property value, which is their assessed value. So you pay about $1,300. This is just an estimation, but you'll pay about $1,300 for every $500,000 you buy in property taxes. Compared to Charlotte, you would pay about $3,900. So it's a big difference. Also in Matthews, it's got another small downtown area. Again, I'm kind of sounding like a broken record here, but it's mid-century buildings, their downtown area. But it's been revitalized. It's got microbreweries down there. It's got restaurants. It's got lots of retail. There's again coffee shops down there. Matthews downtown though is bigger than Fort Mill and Rock Hills downtown. So it is slightly bigger. There's more of it there. The houses around Matthews, it's more developed. So you're not gonna see quite as many new constructions in Matthews as you would around in Fort Mill, let's say, and definitely Ballentine as well. So those two, depending again what might be a good fit for you and your family, Matthews could be an option. So one of my favorite suburbs in Charlotte is Waxhaw. Waxhaw is a little bit further out. You will have to drive a little bit further if you are driving to Charlotte. It's actually just across the county line in Union County. It is in North Carolina. You're not crossing the border, but here's an interesting little fact about it. Waxhaw is as further south as Fort Mill, but because the North and South Carolina state lines aren't straight, it's actually more of a diagonal at certain points. Waxhaw is just as far south. So keep that in mind. It's not as close to Charlotte as, let's say, Matthews is. But one of the good things about Union County, again, the school district, I know I'm kind of keep repeating this, Union County has A+ school districts according to niche.com. It drew a lot of families down over there. It's real close to Matthews, so you have that ability to get to Matthews if you want. But the big draw to Waxhaw, there's a ton of new construction around there. They're only just developing it. It's been going on for, let's say, 5-8 years, but there is a lot more land that will be developed in Union County as Waxhaw grows. So you're gonna see the retail spaces, the restaurants, but they're not gonna be more of a downtown area like you see in Matthews and Fort Mill, Rock Hill. It's gonna be newer construction around there. So you have everything locally in Waxhaw. You're just gonna see a slightly different flavor from that. So if you want to be in North Carolina and you want new constructions, typically these houses in these subdivisions are larger, so you'll see more square footage in there. As far as price points go in Waxhaw, it is all over the shop depending on what size and the kind of property that you're looking for. But as far as an entry point, I would say the mid 400s would get you into a nice subdivision. That is very subjective. You can spend 7 figures in Waxhaw and get absolutely stunning properties there as well. So Waxhaw is somewhere I would also look at if that is important school district, if you're really looking for new construction. So one of the most affluent suburbs in Charlotte is South Park. It's known throughout the area. Primarily, we have a mall there. It's very high-end stores. It's the kind, husbands, I'm talking to you now, it's the kind you don't like your wife to go to because you know you'll be paying for it when they do. Very nice stores, has amazing restaurants around there. My favorite is a place called Cowfish. They serve sushi and burgers, so it's something for her and something for him. I like the burgers in case you are wondering, but that is an absolutely phenomenal area. House prices in South Park really start, entry point is the mid to low 800s. It can be a multi-million-dollar area for the most part it is. As far as your lifestyle there, you have country clubs, you have golf courses all around. So it is a very convenient location to get to Charlotte. It has the lifestyle and it has these beautiful homes. A lot of the homes in South Park are already developed. So they were built in 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Really big, large homes. Again, the price points are a little bit up there depending on where you need to be. I love the actual area itself because it is a little bit more developed. You're gonna see these huge tree-lined streets. So when you think of traditional Southern homes, this is an area that has them in quite frequently around in certain subdivisions around in the South Park area. Now also a fun fact, as you know, we have many pro teams, sports pro teams in the South Park area. There is areas in here just to kind of give you an idea that our NFL players, our soccer players, etc., our basketball players, South Park is a hot spot. So don't be surprised if there's any wrestling fans out there. We do have quite a few wrestlers that live in Charlotte. So don't be surprised if you're in a mall at the South Park and you run into a couple of these sports celebrities, that's kind of the clientele that you'll be rubbing shoulders with. Really nice area, great location there. So South Park, keep that one on the list. So last but not least on the list, I want to talk about Indianland. Now I know what you're thinking, it's got a funny name. You're right. It's directly south of Ballentine. Ballentine touches the North and South Carolina border. And what has happened over the past 5 to 10 years, it actually, as Ballentine exploded and was busting at the seams, the suburbs started to spill across to the South Carolina line. Indianland is an extension really of Ballentine, but it is in South Carolina. So you get different schools. They're not as good as Fort Mill schools, and you're actually in a different county. You're in Lancaster County. In Fort Mill, TGK, Rock Hill, you're in York County. But over in Indianland, it's a completely different county, completely different school district. They are graded B+ according to niche.com, so very comparable to Charlotte. Now, the nice thing about Indianland is the house prices are more affordable for entry level. So you can get some nice new construction properties in Indianland for the low to mid 400s. Now, again, it's subjective. They do go up pretty far. One of the best things about Indianland, it's all its amenities are right there. They have a movie theater. Of course, everywhere has bars, restaurants, microbreweries these days. That's, I guess, nothing to get too excited about, but they have gyms, they have YMCAs, and there's a great subdivision actually in Indianland. It's one of the biggest 55+ communities. It's actually called Sun City, and it is almost a city among itself. So they have all their amenities from pickleball. There's a lot of golfing around there, but Sun City, it's one of the Del Webb communities. The biggest, I think, is in Orlando, Florida, or it is at the time of recording this. But this is a huge area as well. So it's very popular with the 55+ community on there. So Indianland is definitely something that you should keep on your list as well. So guys, those are the top 7 suburbs that when I'm speaking with clients and they're looking for the south side of town, they tell me really what they're looking for, their criteria. And there's a very good chance that what they're telling me kind of fits into some of their parameters of some of these locations. So when I tell them and show them, depending on what your family is looking for, there is very, very big variables involved in there. But these 7 suburbs, you really can't go wrong with any of them. Again, it's just depending on what you're looking for. So guys, that's my heart behind this video. Most people that move to Charlotte, 2 out of every 3 actually live in the suburbs, and that's what they're actually looking for. The suburban life, but with easy access to Charlotte. So those are the 7 top suburbs that my clients tend to look at when I'm showing around town. So guys, whether you're thinking about making that move here to Charlotte in 9 days or 90 days, I would love to be your agent of choice. My contact information is right below in this video. So go ahead, reach out to me, give me a call, send me a text, email, or we can of course meet face to face on Zoom. And until next time, I'll see you around town, and God bless.